Imagine if leadership and development was a uniting factor for people towards a certain achievement. When people set aside their political differences and affront a cause that will benefit everyone.
What does omuntu wa wansi see as development in Entebbe?
Buza meya achegana. Tauni kiraka achegana.
Who is the problem now?
Ensonga ene ejja kuggwa.
That is politics.
Era tulina kyakulya n'ekya tekigenda kubaawo.
Join us every Saturday from 9 to 10 a.m. as we discuss matters in Entebbe, the first Uganda's colonial capital, and what it deserves. Well, thank you very much for joining us once again on this episode, this beautiful Saturday morning, the 8th of April 2023. That means we've partly pushed the month to almost the halfway, and that means there is a lot that someone should have or someone should reveal as an achievement, because when you almost get halfway the year, there is what you register as progressing as far as how we all do. But we know many things have been making rounds in Entebbe, not only, but many other places surrounding Entebbe, and that becomes our concern to always come here and talk about them. For you who are joining us online, Entebbe Post, Media Lab, Nkumba Times, we thank you so much for always sparing time that you listen to what we do and sometimes engage indirectly in the conversation. This beautiful morning, we'll be discussing a number of topics, things that have been trending in Entebbe. And with me in the studios, I am joined by a veteran writer, the man who has written a lot of stories about Uganda and even overseas. And he's also an editor with Gateway News. Piko Kokawesa, thank you so much for joining us on the panel.
Thank you for hosting me this morning. And it's a beautiful Saturday morning and it's a weekend. So
Musajja wakabaka Julia mukakoza nga bulijjo naye atwegaseeko. Sebo tusanyuka buli lwojja wano n'obaako kyoyogera eri abantu saako okuwaayo ebirowoozo byo n'okuteesa. Alamuza kubatuwuliriza.
Mbalamusiza abatulaba ku mukutu gwaffe ogwa Media Lab. Sanyuse nnyo nsanyukidde ddala okubaawo mu programu y'olwaleero. Sebo newankubadde otandise na luzungu nange ndumanyi. I also understand I know how to speak English, but it is fine with my discussion to bring out prudent issues about such topics. It is better I discuss it in a language that everybody will or can understand it.
So we go
ndi musanyufu nti nsobola okujja ensonga yange mu lulimi oluganda okusenga mu luzungu wangu mwebale ddala.
Kale, we will be talking about many things that have been making news in Entebbe. Actually, when you open Gateway News, one of the newspapers published in Entebbe, there's been a story trending online, especially Twitter, about insecurity at the airport. I don't know if you've been able to follow it, Peacock. The abandoned consignment that had iPhones from the Twitter I saw from URA, iPhones, some hoofers. But also we have the concerns that were raised. I see in the paper, air service operators want improved runways. Among other discussions that we'll be talking about, also the infrastructure in Entebbe. We're supposed to be having the CEO for Entebbe Post, Henry Rubura, on the other side, but I think he joins us, he'll join us in the course of this discussion. Also talk about the infrastructure in Entebbe, the performance by the previous town clerk, Charles Magumba. That will also be part of our discussion. But first and foremost, we start from the information from URA, an abandoned consignment at Entebbe International Airport. Peacock, I am sure you've been following what was published. How best would you describe the statement in relation to how we look at the airport in terms of security and the rest? Someone comes with a consignment from wherever they got it, and it's now abandoned at Entebbe International Airport.
Yeah, the abandoned phones at Entebbe Airport, it's not a case that is usual, and it puts the Entebbe Airport authorities at stake because one, mobile phones cannot get wherever they are coming from, or a consignment of mobile phones, and then get on the aircraft or airplane to Entebbe Airport. So there is a sign of insecurity and more so as a tax body URA. We see a gap, a missing gap, because a consignment comes with airway bills. There's a proper documentation that comes with any consignment or whatever it is. But to this time around, you find a consignment at the Entebbe Airport abandoned there with no follow-ups. It puts us at a question, really, whether the airport security is intact, because the airport is now growing to a bigger facility, almost in one of the biggest facilities in the East African region. So when you find an abandoned consignment, there could be a question. What if it could have been a bomb threat at the Entebbe Airport? Who would be answerable to that?
But I'm sure that every consignment, just like you said, comes with the airway bills that state where the consignment is coming from, what is contained in the consignment.
Yeah.
And even as soon as someone arrives at Entebbe International Airport, you are able to trace that this consignment was under the control of such an individual. But I know musajja wa Kabaka tugezaako okwogera ku twalabye obubaka obwavudde mu URA nga bategeeza nti amasimu ne hufa oba bwe naalabye ebyaze ne bibeera nga birekebwa ku kisaawe ky'ennyonyi Entebbe. Piko kakyogeddeko n'agamba nti watyange eyo yali bomu, kubanga ffe tukiwa bulungi nti omuntu bw'aba ategerekese nti omugugu gujjirako ebiwandiiko nti bino bya Kakoza, bino bya Peacock, ate ne bituuka ku kisaawe. Naye paka ne kakati UCEA etwala ekisaawe tena kuvaayo kulaga nti ebintu bino byali bya Gundo ono okusinziira ku biwandiiko bye tulina ebyokubitambuza okubireeta wano. Kutya ki oba threat ekijjira ku ekyo bw'oba okitunuulidde?
Neyanza nnyo muganda Ivan, ekisooka kya byonna ekintu ekyo kyennyamiza nnyo naddala ku muntu akiwulira. Ekisooka tosobola kuŋŋamba nti omuntu yazze n'ebintu ku nnyonyi nga waliwo amakubo gonna g'ayitamu gye biva, wabituusiza ne gye biraga. Ebiwandiiko birina okuba nga weebiri. Kati oli yeebuuza omuntu aleka atya emigugu gyazze nagyo ku nnyonyi, ate paka kati nga mukyamunoonya wiiki nnamba, kati omuntu akugamba bakyamunoonya. Kubanga kati bwe weetegereza essimu n'ewuufa ezaaleeteddwa zifiiriza Uganda kumpi omusolo gwa bukadde nga 220. Bw'otunuulira ekyo kitegeeza tebaasasula musolo, Uganda awo neefiirwa. Ekyokubiri, kulabisa abakozi ku kisaawe. Abakozi abo balina buli omu department mwakolera. Ekiswaze ennyo ye department y'obutakola mulimu ne bifuluma mu mawulire. Kati we bifulumira mu mawulire owasi aba answerable, abasacwite baba answerable, n'abakozi baba answerable. Emabega awo bateeka obukwakulizo obw'amaanyi ku bakozi olw'ebyo ebyalabika mu social media clips n'ebirala, ne babajjako n'amasimu nga ku mulimu walaga takkirizibwa kubaawo na ssimu. Kati ebintu bino tutandise okubiraba. Simanyi oba okubajjako essimu kyatereezo bakyongera kwonoona, naye kati ffe tulaba kyongera kwonoona. So n'olwekyo ensonga zino zirina okwetegerezebwa ennyo. Omuntu bw'abazze n'ebintu bye ave nabyo mu nnyonyi, abiteeke we birina otambulira. Bw'aba afuluma tebamukkiriza fuluma nga tabikola ki, nga tabirina. Era kakwakulizo abakulu ku kisaawe ke balina okukola.
Apiko konze ntunuulira nnyo kulaba nti ekintu kino kati kyoyolokedde mu masimu, naye mabega awo tuze tulaba abakulu n'abakola n'abantu abamu abakola ku kisaawe ky'ennyonyi Entebbe okwenyigira mu kuyambako abantu abakukusa ebintu. You've seen in the past. I know of one person, staff who is on remand currently, aiding people to smuggle and narcotics into the country and out. But we're looking at the possible threats that next time someone can come with a bomb and it is abandoned there. Does it in any way point security gaps within AVISEC, UCA generally?
Yeah, there's still a lot to be answered there because a consignment finding its way at Entebbe International Airport is the biggest threat to the country because it's an international airport and the gateway. So there would be more seriousness that is needed at the airport because there are different departments, including immigrations, including AVISEC, and we have actually even state agencies that work at the airport.
Flying squad.
There's flying squad.
You have ISO.
ISO. There are lots of these. So there could be a missing gap or there was a foul play. I don't know who owns the consignment because it's now taking about a week. without getting who owns the consignment, and the country lost an equivalent of about 200 million shillings worth of tax. So it's a big question, because this is not small money. It's big monies, and we ought to get a question from whoever has the answer. And I think also the airport security or the airport authorities, CAA, will need to give us an answer also on that.
I'm trying to see if I can get Vian on air, but I think he's on another call. We're trying to see if we can get Vian Yolja, who is the Public Affairs Manager for Uganda Civil Aviation Authority, if he can have a say on this. But as we try to connect with him, musajja wa Kabaka, tutunuulidde nnyo nti ebintu bino we bijja ne bibeerawo bwe biti nga Pikoko bw'akyogedde nti abantu abamu balagajjalira omulimu gwabwe, naye ekibi nti bwe bifuluma mu bantu ng'eno mu mawulire kyeyongera okulaga obunafu obuli ku kisaawe ky'ennyonyi Entebbe mu byokwerinda, mu mpeereza ne surveillance kumanya, kubanga nze nkiwa nti ebintu ng'ebyo omuntu bwajja mumujjako passport ne mumanya nti amaanya gundi ne gundi ng'eraga n'ejjova ebiwandiiko ebiraga nti Pikoko Kaweesa abeera Entebbe mu Kitoro ye yakoze kino n'ebintu ebyo, naye paka kati tetulina trace. Yes. Okay. I think we joined by Vian Luja online. Vian, we just want to take about 1 minute to inquire something from you. I am in studio with several journalists, but we are asking about the trending story online that's about the abandoned phones at the airport. As you see, do you in any way see this as a threat, perhaps, in terms of security and the rest, that someone can abandon something of that nature there? What if it was a bomb?
It is not a threat at all in any way whatsoever.
Yes.
Because the area where they were abandoned is the conveyor belt where all passengers coming into the country have their baggage and receive it, pick it from the conveyor belt.
Yes.
In aviation, there is a component of trust, and that is why the global body, International Civil Aviation Organization, establishes standards that every country is supposed to meet.
Okay.
So when it comes to arrivals, this is arriving baggage.
Yes.
So the presumption is it is coming from another airport.
Okay.
Which follows the same standards that you all follow internationally. So this particular baggage, the fact that it is coming in from another international airport, has definitely been duly scanned where it is coming from.
Okay.
So the level of risk, if any, is at its lowest. So there is no risk whatsoever from such baggage. Number one.
Okay.
However, in spite of that, the fact that, again, it is our own vigilance that established that this particular one is abandoned is also a sign that there is no laxity.
Okay.
And further rules out that element of risk.
Okay.
From that security perspective.
Vian,
yes.
We understand that any consignment or baggage that comes, especially like phones, we know they have to come with an airway bill that describes what the consignment has got and the rest. And this consignment is under control of either me, Ivan, or Vian Luja. But we're talking about the tracers, perhaps who could have been in charge of the consignment. Are there efforts to find that individual?
Yes, definitely. Those efforts are on, and some progress has been made already.
Okay.
URA will probably give you that detail.
Okay.
They are handling that process.
Okay.
But talking about airway bill, that one applies to cargo that is passing through the cargo site. We are now talking about the arrivals hall.
Okay.
Where a passenger comes in with their baggage. What happens with that is each baggage that you come in with has what we call a baggage tag.
Okay.
And that tag has the name of the passenger.
Okay.
And even this particular consignment that was abandoned definitely had a name.
Okay.
And we know that name. URA has, because the items were found to be dutable, they are in the hands of Customs URA.
Yes.
Which is following this matter up But already, I understand two people have already claimed. Two people have already tried to claim that consignment.
Yes.
And those are very useful leads. So the investigation is ongoing. Two
Okay.
different people have come up to try and claim it. And that investigation is ongoing.
Avian, before we let you go, maybe my colleagues have a question to you. Peacock, do you have any other question? Or Musaja Wakawaka, George William Kakoza?
Mr. Luja. Hello?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Luja.
Yes, I'm hearing you loud and clear.
Okay, it's better that you got this consignment. Couldn't there be any probability of other consignments or people losing their consignments in the same way? Has it ever happened at the airport, or
This
do
is
you
the
think
first time.
It's the first time?
Different matter.
Sorry?
Totally different from what you're talking about of losing a consignment is a totally different matter from this one. Of course, it's not necessarily probably the correct word is not losing, but where a passenger arrives and their baggage has not arrived with them,
Okay.
those cases have definitely happened, and there is a different procedure for handling that.
Okay.
We have handling agents at the airport,
Okay.
NAS, which is now Menzies. So in the event that a passenger arrives, when their baggage has not arrived, and that has happened, they report to the baggage lost and found baggage tracing office, which is manned by handling agents. They take down their details, and the handling agent follows up with the airline that they came with. Most times, it so happens that either that baggage remained in transit through another country that they came in from, and through the follow-up with the airline, it is eventually delivered.
Okay, Evian, maybe
Different matter.
before we let you go, if there is someone, the owner of the consignment that was abandoned at the airport and is listening to you, what is the way forward then, if that person is listening to you or watching you from the studios?
You said the owner of the consignment that did what?
That was abandoned at the airport, perhaps he forgot and is listening to us. What is the way forward?
Perhaps perhaps they forgot. It's okay. They just need to, because this consignment is dutable and it is with URA. They just need to report to URA customs office
Okay.
and show evidence that it is their consignment. Remember, this consignment had a name.
Okay.
So the details of the owner of the consignment are already there with the airline. So once the person provides evidence that they are the owners of the consignment, then the due process would be followed.
Okay, Vian, for time reasons, we want to let you do the rest of your works, but thank you very much for making time to speak to us.
You're welcome. Thank you very much for calling.
Okay. Vian Loja is the Public Affairs Manager for Civil Aviation. Just giving a clarification on what is happening at the airport. Is there anything that you think Vian left untouched in this story?
No. Apart from telling us a clarity of losing or someone forgetting, either from the air cargo he's coming from, the airway bills are covered at the customs union,
But,
or even...
George, I am concerned with one thing. From when a client comes with the consignment, which is under your name, the name contains more information according to the passport of where you stay, including your contacts. Was it a weakness for URA to say someone has abandoned, or it was within their efforts that they were supposed to trace the owner of the consignment and call to say you forgot this consignment at the airport? Because Vian has given us a clarification that it has to come with a tag.
Yeah, the airport spokesperson has given us a clarity on that. But still, I still have another question. That there must be some foul play. Because how do you find a consignment of 90 mobile phones plus...
And iPhones, expensive
and
phone.
iPhones. It's not as usual. It's not a usual thing. It still beats my understanding. But more so, the Uganda Revenue Authority still also.
Did it exhibit a weakness?
I don't know whether they have seen that, but I think there's still something, because if a consignment comes with the tags that I'm so and so and I own this consignment, it shouldn't be a big question mark and to cause anarchy or cause mayhem at the airport or drama, because it sounds like it's dramatic here. A consignment of abandoned mobile phones.
From a PR perspective, would you say that URA exhibited any professionalism in managing their PR?
Yeah, I could say more so, because it's now a week. Because if the airport authorities have told us that consignment comes with tags and more so, which is right, there's a laxity there in the PR system. I don't know whether there was pulling shoulders here and there over the consignment, because it has also been there at the airport.
I am suspecting, so. I don't want to be I am suspecting, someone was trying to aid this traveler, dodge tax, and get the funds out of the airport, and one way or the other, a colleague or the same staff from the same institution landed on this.
Okay, Ivan, I think this is one of the acts that has happened and seen and has gone to the media. But I know there are so many other issues in that same scenarios that happen and are not seen. If the acting manager, Customs Union, Simon Erunga, tells us up to now it's a week, but they have not identified the person. But we've got clarity from the spokesperson from UCAA that every consignment has a name tag. Why do you tell us you are still looking for the person? What is it for now?
Can't you liaise with immigration?
Yes.
To get the information of where this person stays?
I think it is a lie. They are lying us. Maybe someone who aided that consignment.
Someone was to aid
Uganda.
But the gap was in between there.
So that means if the country is losing 222 million from that means there is a lot of money that is lost in such.
So the customs manager needs to get a proper explanation to the public.
Yes.
Sure. They should be.
I want us to leave the conversation there. We have a lot to discuss, but we think Uganda Civil Aviation Authority, URA, and the rest of the people working at the airport, you need to get a better statement to give to the public, because it has exhibited the security threats. It has exposed the weakness within the URA system and the rest of other coordinating bodies on how someone can come with a consignment and does not explain to the public. Let's just take a quick break. When we return, we'll be discussing Charles Magumba's service in Entebbe municipality vis-a-vis the infrastructure development that is currently ongoing. And when we come from the break, the mayor for Entebbe, His Worship Fabrice Rulinda, will be joining us on phone to also give his perspective on the matter. We'll return shortly after the break.
Entebbe, the land of freshness, fresh breeze, fresh water, fresh weather, and fresh foods. Entebbe is not just the gateway to Uganda, but also fresh foods supplied from 81 Sese Islands in Lake Victoria. Fresh foods from the garden to Chitoro Market and straight to your home. Visit Chitoro Market in Entebbe, Uganda's first capital for all your fresh foods.
Welcome to Entebbe. Uganda's first colonial capital, the home of recreation and tourism. Meet its welcoming people and enjoy the fresh winds from Lake Victoria. Okay, we'll be back from that commercial break. We are still in the Media Lab studios, Abaita Babili, on Entebbe Road. Does it stand to be the first colonial capital of Uganda, or we're now shifting? Which best description should you give Entebbe?
It stands.
It stands. Sure.
The first colonial capital of Uganda. We are still in the Media Lab studios and we're speaking a lot. Before we went in for the break, I'd said we'll be speaking matters, infrastructure development, but also seeing off the town clerk for Entebbe, that's Charles Magumba, for what he has done for the people of Entebbe. In 1 second, before we connect to the mayor of Entebbe, how would you best describe Charles Magumba in his term of office?
I, for one, I will describe Charles Magumba as a man of substance, because he came at a time when we had two major projects.
We are now joined by the mayor of Entebbe, Fabrice, His Worship Fabrice Rolinda, to just give us a perspective on infrastructure development. And Mayor, thank you very much for making time to speak to us.
Thank you so much for having me, gentlemen.
Yeah, I have colleagues in the studio that are journalists, and we are discussing the perspective of infrastructure development in Entebbe. But first, before we get a comment from you, we have seen of the former town clerk as Charles Magumba that you have worked with for a time before he was transferred. How best would you describe him in his service for the people of Entebbe that you led?
He was an amazing person. I enjoyed working with him. Gelled, we had the same goals, and we worked hard to ensure that we get service delivered. In many of these offices, when we come in, of course, there are always things. There are those that will appreciate, there are those that won't. But the 8 years that he served here, we really want to thank him. And he had Entebbe at heart. So it was amazing working with him.
Yeah,
looking forward to working with the new town clerk. Like we said, these offices these are not our personal companies. These are not our homes. These are basically offices where we're given a chance to serve. And after the service, we hand over to the next person.
Okay. Mayor, the town clerk has contributed, I can say, enormously to the development of Entebbe. During his tenure is when we saw the Kitoro market being constructed. We saw the tax park, now the Kampala Road, which is almost complete, I can say. We can commend him for that. But is there something that you think he left hanging that you and the current town clerk has to work on?
Yes, of course our work plan and what we've been discussing, me and him, since he came in, and what we are going to focus on will be, first of all, the beautification, the infrastructure. Revenue collection has been low, so we have to look at and see how we do improve revenue collection, because that's on that basis that we can give better service to the people of Entebbe. Then, of course, there is the lighting of the streets, which has been a challenge. And with it, challenging budgetary times for the economy of Uganda, we are hoping that we can do amazing with what we have.
Okay, before we came to the show yesterday, we were doing a tour around on some of the things that could really make us a topic to discuss. And we understand that, of course, Entebbe was made during the colonial time. Most of the infrastructure there, but notably the roads. And we've seen some projects that, of course, running. But do you think there is still more that can be done in demand of how we can improve the road?
There is a lot that needs to be done. And like I promised the people that I would work on infrastructure, I'd work on our education system, and then also work on its beautification. Entebbe is a very beautiful place. Of course, it has had its challenges with keeping up with its beauty. There is also the issue of solid waste and how it should be managed. We need to find a permanent solution on how it will be handled. And those are the things that we are going to focus on. We want to see that we fix places like the Mayor's Gardens, we fix places like the Children's Park, to give it a beauty and the pride, so that all of you, the people of Entebbe, when you move in Entebbe, you feel like we're in a beautiful place, a beautiful municipality that's transitioning into a city.
And Mayor, also, we understand that Uganda is going to host the non-allied countries. That is December, I think, November, December. But have you...
November, December, it's been moved to January.
Okay, January. Okay, per se.
It's been moved to January, and of course that is extremely important because we are the face of the country.
And in any way, maybe before you respond, in any way, have you engaged the relevant authorities in government to say that, look, we need to get some funds to beautify specifically for that? Have you in any way engaged on this?
Yes, we're having meetings with the President's office, and we're working on seeing what we can get
Okay.
help us with beautification. Of course, being the entrance into the country, one of my cries has been, can we get more lights? The other one would be, beautification of these road reserves, to put their flowers, to give it a beauty, so that anybody that's entering Uganda for the first time, their first impression should be a beautiful green country.
And people have been raising concerns on the Chigung Road. That is the first eye-catching when you're landing in the country. And people have said every political figure has always talked about this road before they're given votes from the people. Are there efforts to also, that becomes part of the projects that are maybe involved in the area? Yes.
Well, like I said, we have been having these discussions. The roads like the one of Chigung, we're having discussions with the Ministry of Works. Chigungu Road, its issues, and I would be really proud to see that if I can do anything else in my term is to ensure that Buku Road is fixed and put into a tarmac road. We're having the discussion between us, CAA, and the Ministry of Works to ensure that that road is at least that moves from Maram to tarmac.
And Mayor, my colleague Pico Kokawesa maybe has a question. Pico?
His Worship, the Mayor, good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Yes, good morning. Now, my queries could be on the Chitoro Tax Park. When is it likely to be commissioned? Because there's still a problem of unemployment, tax revenue, and everything. So that would be my question.
Well, that you know very well. We contracted someone who's supposed to be done by probably July. I could check for you and give you the exact. But you were there when we were commissioning, and you know the time frames that we did give the people that we contracted. They are moving steadily and moving very well.
Okay.
Very welcome to come and have a tour. Like I had told Evan earlier, I am inviting you to take a tour with me of all these projects on Saturday.
Okay.
And we see where they have reached and what is left. It will be amazing that these journeys, you as a journalist, come, you look at them, see the progress, see what's being done. It's not just a taxi park. There's Kampala Road that is almost at completion. There is Ginger Road, which we've started tarmacking. There is Njero Road. When we're done at Njero Road, we're going to do Hamukasa. From Hamukasa, we're doing all the roads within what they call Chizungu. That is Edna, Mugula, Gopas Road, and all that.
And Mayor, we have in the past had a challenge of vandalization. I remember when you put solar lights along the Golf Road, some of them were vandalized. So how are you making sure that, as far as how you are putting efforts?
What I can do as the mayor is ensure that I put a system that probably the panels are up on top of the poles. But the truth is, the security agencies have to come in and help us, work with us. The communities have to help us, because the people steal these things are from communities. Some of them, you know them well. You know that they are the thieves. You know that they are in the community and their children. The community should be involved in the protection of assets, because these assets are not mine. As Fabrice, these assets are for the people of Entebbe.
Yes, sure.
We should work together. We should be vigilant together. The security agency should help us. SFD has done an amazing job at this. They put some patrols that have been moving around, which has helped a great deal in reducing the number of these boys that started attacking people on the streets in the night. So we are trying. We are working hard to ensure that we solve the problems. But we need the community to understand that we can only do so much without the community involvement.
Okay, Mayor, we understand you are in Changwazi and you are having your lectures or lessons there. We want to leave you here for time reasons and wish you the best of your stay in Changwazi.
Thank you so much, and I want to wish you and the rest of the people of Entebbe an amazing Easter, and may the resurrection of our Lord be a blessing to you and your families.
Thank you very much for your time too.
All right, thank you.
Okay, he has given his perspective on the matter. Musajja wa Kabaka. Olina kyoyogera ku ku kwogera kwa meya.
Okay, nzikiriza meya byayogedde byonna ebisinga byogeddwa ebbanga. Ekisooka bw'ayogera ku nguudo, enguudo nnyingi nnyo ezikoleddwa naye nga ssente taziva mu gavumenti, ezimu na neewole. Naye mu bbanga ttono ne tuziraba nga zizeemu ebituli. Bwe tutunuulira enguudo ezaakolebwa USMID, nnyingi nnyo zaakolebwa nga ziri ku substandard. Ebimu bye byaleetera ne minisita yaliko yali alondoola emirimu gya gavumenti Peter Ogwanga okujja n'abakubamu ebituli nga bamu bakola kolansi ne batateekamu mazzi gye gayitira, nga bamu babala 48 ne bakolako 6.5. N'olwekyo ebintu ebifaanana bwe bityo bye bivumaganya naye ng'enteekateeka gye balina simbi era nnungi. Ekyokubiri, oluguudo lw'Ekigungu lwogeddwa okuva ku kisanja kya meya Kabuye.
Buli yali anoonya akayululu mu ntebe yalwogerako bamuwe ne bamuwa.
Kyensinza okusanyukira nti waliwo enkolagana wakati wa Municipal Council, CAA ne Ministry ya Works. Ekyo kirungi naye tebatukandaaliriza, batuyambe lwanguwe.
Kubanga ennyonyi bw'eba egwa lw'osooka okulaba.
Enfuufu eri eyo. Ennyonyi ezimu zaalibadde tezoozebwa na kwozebwa nga zigibwako bugiwa lufufu lwa mu bbanga. Naye enfuufu y'oku ttaka
toso alimba mugenyi nti wano wachaafu naye gy'ogenda
nolwekyo omukulu enteekateeka gy'alina nungi, naye tusaba ereme kkoma mu bigambo, ekolebweko nga bweyogerwako. Bw'ayogera ku kyamataala g'oku nguudo, ebyokwerinda ye ssentebe w'ebyokwerinda mu kibuga, kati naye agamba ab'ebyokwerinda, kati agamba baani? Sebo political head yaba chairperson wa security mu kitundu. Sebo kati meya nze njagala musaba byatugambe tubyaniza yatubyebaza naye atuyambeko nga ye ssentebe w'olukiiko lw'ebyokwerinda okulondoola ensonga zino bwe baba babba amataala ku nguudo. Abekaweefubeewe okunoonya ani agabba era tumukoledde ki. Bagabbye naye tetuluulirangayo musango guloopeddwa nti oba ono twamukutte ngabba ettaala ly'oku luguudo, nti oba ono twamusanze akuula ebimuli ku luguudo, oba ono yayiye wali kasasiro tetubiwulirangako. Oba babisirikira nga gyebi tetumanyi babitubuulire.
Okay, I think we'll leave the mayor there, but we come back to the town clerk who was served for 8 years in Entebbe. Peacock, what do you think this man was able to achieve for the people of Entebbe?
Charles Magumba has been here for 8 to 10 years, and his time in office has been one of the greatest times of all times, because he left the government market, which is about 20 billion shillings or so, worked on. This was the greatest achievement of all times, a mega market for our own or so-called peasants. Two, his time in office, he has left the tax park under construction, although the construction has over-delayed between here and there. There were flaws and weaknesses there, but more so we are on track. And three, we have tried to get better roads. The network is trying to, improve every other day as a gateway of Entebbe. And then, because in an earlier discussion with the mayor, I got a notification that about 44 billion shillings plus has been earmarked on road improvement. And this is a great achievement more so. And we beg that a new town clerk.
I have not met him. I have not met the new town clerk, but I think Jojoli Amkakoza, part of the efforts we'll do this coming week is to meet the town clerk and at least have an interaction with him. But you, Kakoza Musajja wa Kabaka, what is so best? Chichicho sola government town clerk Charles Magumba kyabeereddewo abantu b'Entebbe nti katatuso okugenda nga kyakituukiriza.
Okay, neyanza sawo neyanza ege. Mu mwaka 2015 Charles Magumba yatuuka mu Entebbe ng'asikira town clerk yali amanyiddwa nga Richard K. Mande. Town clerk yayitazanyirwako. Kyokka okujja kwa Magumba kwamuletera okusomooza naddala ku social media. Baavuma Magumba ku WhatsApp, yavuma Magumba ku Facebook, naye omusajja n'asirika.
Nga tabanyega.
Netugamba omusajja abadde ki? Nga buli avuma ku social media abivaako yekka. I know eyinza okuba yali style ye ey'obukulembeze kyekulaba nga yatuuka ku byafaayo nga bino byalese mu kibuga naye ate tulaba tawunikirako amudidde mu bigere tetumanyi nkola ye avudde Masaka mwami Mugisha Emmanuel gakyalo lyerinnya lyalivuga e Masaka so n'olwekyo nze ndabira ddala nga Charles Magumba ebbanga lyamaze mu Ntebe ayambye Entebbe okubaako byetukako ebyamaanyi muganda Nkawesa ayogedde ku tax park ayogedde katale k'omu Kitoolo newankubadde akatale ako kakyalimu okusoomozebwa kunene emidaala mingi egyakolebwa tegiriiko bantu ekizibu
bagamba emisolo mingi abamu bagamba akatale bakakolera abagagga abaavu tebakagendamu ebyo byonna tugambe nti byali mu ngambo kubanga lumu kiwaya tuyitako mu press conference
nekitereerezebwa
naye nga tonaba kugenda wala njagala njogere ku some of his failures namwe kyemugenda kwongerako ndowooza mu biseera bya Charles Magumba wetulabidde nnyo abantu okutwala ettaka lya council twalabye ku beach awo stretches open public places ku beach mulowooza si muteniwa ya Charles Magumba mwe batwalidde nnyo nze we ndowooza
okay bw'oyogera ekyo si kikyamu kirungi naye ebintu by'ettaka tebitandika leero ate tebikoma leero okunoonyereza okusinga kwenkoze ku bintu by'ettaka erisinga ng'ebyoku biiki ng'obutale weesanga nga bikadde byatandika mu myaka gy'abatawunikira
naye nga tulabye nga Mayor Fabrice lumu twaliko naye nga yagezaako okulaba yagenda naga mwe lino ettaka ly'abantu banantebe banalirira ku biiki
Fabrice yalondebwa bantu is a political head naye tawunikirako mukozi wa gavumenti kati buli kyasanga mu ofiisi oba bakama basooka bakyonoona yalina kufuula nga akitereeza naye ate waliwo ebitatereezeka omuntu aba yasasula dda ssente okugula awantu tolina bw'omugaana mpozi kye nawulirako nti nabo obutalwanalwanako nabo balina ekyoja mu miro kye baabawa nabo ne basirika nakiwulirako naye sikikakasa
kitegeeza statement ogiowninga
era si yange naye nagiwulirako mu bantu sobola giwerako obujulizi naye nakiwulirako n'olwekyo nze galina magezi gempa abakozi naddala bw'aba wa gavumenti oba munnabyabufuzi bw'oyingira mu kifo naddala woofiisi ng'okimanyi mulimu ebizibu bitunuulire osinziireko kukola ebyamagero oba ebyamaanyi ate ng'oyamba abantu kubanga abantu be bakuwadde okukulembera yadde oli mukozi wa gavumenti yadde oli munnabyabufuzi.
Okay, Peacock, what can you tell us that during Charles Magumba's tenure in Entebbe was registered as either failure or a negative that was under his supervision as the town clerk of Entebbe?
One of the negativities I could register with Charles Magumba would be he was untouchable. He was untouchable, so...
But he reserved his comments.
Yeah,
I remember I think several times we could want to talk to him, but he told us, let me get facts right before I can give you.
And he also keeps quiet.
About it. That means he neglected
yes.
the public question on certain things.
Yeah, more so. Every time you would talk about Charles Magumba, you try to raise an arm about Charles Magumba. You could swallow the spit because, it was very hard to, to approach him. But there was a lot of negativities, we can say. Like the last one that... about the Manyago Road and the Chintu Road, there was a negativity registered there where he was implicated or cited in...
selling the estate?
No, it wasn't about selling the estate, but it was all about road construction, budgets. Money was released and then, I don't know.
I remember.
Then
when they met the Prime Minister with some councillors.
Yeah, sure. So... I don't know whether the money was diverted to something else because up to now there's still a question on that. And still more so, the education infrastructure in Entebbe and public infrastructure it has not improved. Still demanding.
Last time we were at Kiwafu Primary School, the blocks had the cracks. Oh, yes, they launched the renovation on it, but it had cracks. I've also looked at Lake Victoria
School.
Primary School, one of the best schools we had it back in the time. I think this time none of those officials can take their children to study. I am sure. I want to be on record. The schools, some of the schools we have in Entebbe,
Yes.
not even you, the mayor, not even you, the town clerk, and your municipal council officials can take your children to study there. I want to be on record. If you have one,
Surely.
challenge me. Come and challenge me.
Sure, I also
But I
support
appreciate that each and every time you're giving us hope, that you are liaising with the government, you are liaising with the stakeholders to see. We saw the Chadwick in Amate the last time when the rains destroyed the roof.
Yeah,
It was taken off.
was
It is.
struggle.
I am told the MP for Entebbe,
Kakembo.
Michael Kakembo, is or got part of the iron sheets that were meant for Karamoja, and with the mercy he had given some of those iron sheets to Chadwick in Amate. So government, please you help us in the investigations that you're doing. You at least forego the iron sheets that came to Entebbe because they have been given to a very vulnerable school. I am told that's what.
All institutions that receive these iron sheets should be forgiven.
But at least for purposes of our Entebbe,
Yes.
please we are kindly asking that for Entebbe, this is school. The rains that came last time, of course, took the roof off and the rest. Most of the classrooms were destroyed. So this MP, even he's an opposition MP, just imagine.
He got the iron
He got
sheet.
the iron sheets.
I don't know how.
And gave to a vulnerable school in Entebbe. So the team that is investigating, please, we ask that these iron sheets, there were a few, I don't know the number, but there were a few.
Yeah.
So please, if you're asking for the returns, for Entebbe at least you can forego. But let me get your parting shot. We have run out of time, Peacock.
Yeah.
Going forward, what do you think this town clerk, the new town clerk, should learn from the previous one? Just in 30 seconds, we're winding up.
The new town clerk has a lot of homework to work on, most probably on public infrastructures, like the central market. There's big queries about the central market, and he should work on that problem. I'm even told there's a road in the middle of the town that was sold. I don't know how sure it is. I have a lot of homework and investigations to work on. And 3, the issue of schools, public schools, an effort should be put on that, because we had Entebbe Marathon that used to help.
Yes, how did it die? Mayor Fabrice, you need to... I don't know whether you used to appreciate the Entebbe Marathon. I covered it one time. It was really so exciting. I saw people from Kampala coming to participate in it from the Botanical Gardens. Is it not where we started last time?
Surely telling you, every leader in office has his own impressions and has his own manifesto. You can talk about Entebbe Marathon. It was Kayanja's initiative. Kayanja is the former mayor.
Katolo Fabrice wajida mwamusi.
Naffe tetokugamba.
Bisobola abeerawo.
Wenzo muka
Bwanga yakitandika wanga kirungi kisobola kubeerawo.
Wenzo muka
Okay.
Okay.
I wanted to pick your perspective.
Okay, it is fine.
Ku mayor, sorry, town clerk yakajja byasobola ayigira ku.
Town clerk yakajja nze kyenja amagezi genjagala okumuwa awulirize ebigambo bingi asengejje ataakole. Ekisooka ekisinga okutta municipal council office weziri abantu webali naye flow of information okuva ku municipal council okutuuka ku bantu be bakolera emirimu. Oba oli awo naffe ab'amawulire abaali badde batunda ekibuga information yebadde nfu kubanga town clerk wadde omubuuza ekibuzo nakuga akanoonyereze toddamu muwuliza paka ng'omusanze ku mukola ate neyeefula ayogere naawe akunnyonnyola ebitakyakola. So kati ono mwami Gakyalo omusaba akole enteekateeka etuusa ku bannantebe amawulire ag'ebintu byonna ebigenda okukolebwa. Ekyokubiri, ebifo ebyolukale public land ng'ebisaawe by'omupiira, children's parks, ebibira, afube nnyo okulaba ng'anoonya ebituufu, otherwise ajja kutomera nga bamutomezza kati ng'ekibira ky'egguda ekyeggunda eri ebintu abigwemu nga musajja wattu
nga naye tabitegeera. Okay, gentlemen, yes,
muwa magezi. Manyago estate waliwo ekizibu ekinene, waliwo resolutions ezakolebwa ku council ne kooti ne zitambula naye Manyago estate ena ajebuuzeeko nnyo asale amagezi abantu be Manyago bano bafune emirembe neyanza se
leero Saturday enkya Easter Sunday enteekateeka ez'okubeera nti Entebbe kifo ekisanyukirwamu. Where are you going to be?
Enkya ku Sunday nja kubeerako ku Lusaniya. Akuba ku Lusaniya.
Musajja wa Kabaka. Enkya Sunday kumala kusabako tuddawa.
Sebo neyanza ege. Nze ne bannange tulina akafo ke twatandikawo bakayita Amber Court Leisure Center. Kali mu kyalo Nkumba Central eyo munda. Tujja kubaawo tusanyukemu.
Sebo tetugenda kuva kutamaka.
Abanywa banywemu.
Tetugenda kuva kutamaka.
Ati kyonyumira kyobokola. Ali buzewo.
Okay.
Njagala okwagaliza abantu amazaalibwa ga Mukama waffe Yesu Kristo amalungi. Nga bwe twatandika Olwokuna ne Holy Thursday, Good Friday yawedde, olwo tuli mu kubonaabona kwa Kristo. Holy Saturday yino tugimazeeko, kati Sunday ge mazuukira. Njagala abantu bagende mu masinzizo bawulirize ku njiri ey'amazuukira ga Kristo. Kyo kimu ekyokubiri bwe bavaayo babeereko ne famire zaabwe bakyamukeko
bagendeko out nabo
akawungeza nti
kale awo wengenda asinzirya nange on behalf of the people of Entebbe. I want to invite you, all people from walks of the country, that Entebbe has a lot to offer. You can come to the beaches. You can also come to the airport if you've never been there. You can also, but most importantly, I want to tell people that you work. Uganda Wildlife Conservation Education Center has a lot to offer. For children, for the adults, you can walk the children around if they have gone to school and they're studying about the lions. They will physically look at them. They will look at the tigers. They will look at all animals and bird species that one would ever want to see. So I am inviting you on behalf of the people of Entebbe that we have a lot to offer. The Botanical Gardens is there. You can carry your eats. You can come with your family, sit with them. It is a very good, beautiful place. It has a good ambience that you can enjoy in Entebbe. But also for sports, I know there are many things that will be happening. Munabya mzenyo bale tunawa kubyogerako naye. Seconds zitano. Seconds zitano.
Busiro tukyali musanyu.
Busiro byayitako.
Busiro ulira. Busiro yakuba buddu era ekikopo kiri mu kwetu.
Baba we ekikopo temwakifuna.
Kiri mu kutambula.
Byagwawo kati.
Era twetegekera 2020.
Okay.
Akasemberayo ddala amasomero ga muno aga secondary ngazanye omupiira okubaka basketball ne volleyball. Era Boston sebo yawangudde ekikopo mundi ogw'omusanvu Boston High School esanga wano Mpala. Ate ku mutendero gwa district Buddo yazeemu atokkuba kitende ku final. Sebo
kale ku lwakadde banantebe n'abatulaba mwena mwebalo tugoberera Media Lab Entebbe Post but also Nkumba Times. Tuwagala kubagamba nti olupapula olwa Gateway News luli kunusu 10 lwoka lwogera kusinga bintu eby'Entebbe nga bw'obiraba osobola lufuna n'osooka okubeera nti omanya ebifa mu Ntebbe. Ku lwakadde njagala basiibulira wano Easter ababeerere omulungi ne famire zammwe. Tuvuddewo. Imagine if leadership and development was a uniting factor for people towards a certain achievement. When people set aside their political differences and affront a cause that will benefit everyone.
What does omuntu wa wansi see as development in Entebbe?
Mbuuza meya akyegana, tawunikiraka akyegana.
Who is the problem now?
Ensonga eno ejja kuggwa.
That is politics. Era tetulina kyakulya n'enkya tekigenda kubaawo.
Ate ne President Museveni bannanga akyali baby.
Join us every Saturday from 9 to 10 a.m. as we discuss matters in Entebbe, the first Uganda's colonial capital, and what it deserves.